Be prepared. The transformation has already begun. You are no longer who you were yesterday. And now, everything is about to change. Something has already shifted inside you, quietly but powerfully. The energies building before this super full moon on October 6th are rewriting you from the inside out. The universe isn't waiting for the moon to rise. It's already preparing those who are meant to rise with it. You've been pulled into this exact moment because something in you is ready to break open. The person you see in the mirror right now, the one who's been exhausted, uncertain, and wondering when things will finally shift, that's not who you're becoming. That's just the shadow of who you used to be. You're being sculpted into someone that even you won't recognize. The pain, the confusion, the endless waiting, it wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Every part of your life that fell apart was making room for what's about to arrive. You're not just leveling up, you're becoming a completely different frequency. And when this full moon peaks, everything will change. But before the full moon arrives, you need to be prepared for it. And that's what's happening right now. If you're even slightly spiritually attuned, it's crucial for you to be aware of what's happening right before the full moon arrives. Right now, something is building inside you that you might not even have words for yet. It feels like restlessness, maybe even irritation. But underneath it is power, raw, unstoppable willpower. As we approach the full moon, the chosen ones are being pushed into a state where they can no longer tolerate what drains them. Old patterns, toxic connections, endless waiting, all of it starts to feel impossible to carry. This is why you might suddenly feel like saying enough without hesitation. You're not second-guessing yourself anymore. You're not asking for permission. You're moving on instinct, and that instinct is courage. When the full moon rises, hesitation dies. That's the energy right now, a kind of quiet possession by the part of you that has always been fearless, but has been buried under doubt. Don't be surprised if you start cutting ties you once thought were permanent, or making decisions you used to overthink for months. This isn't recklessness, it's alignment. The full moon doesn't wait, and neither do you. The same energy that's pulling the oceans is pulling your boundaries into place. By the time the moon peaks, you won't be thinking about being bold, you'll already be acting like it. And after that, the world will see a version of you they've never met before. But there's an even stranger shift happening in parallel, and it only shows up when the sun goes down. As the full moon swells, something unusual happens to the chosen ones. Their sharpest energy no longer comes in daylight. Instead, it blooms after dark, as if the moonlight is switching something on inside of them. Nights that used to feel quiet now feel electric, and the hours you once dreaded become the hours when you're most alive. This isn't insomnia. It's not random. It's the lunar energy syncing your inner clock to its own rhythm. The moon doesn't just light the night, it lights what's hidden inside you. That's why you might notice yourself feeling inspired at midnight, suddenly planning, writing, creating, or feeling bursts of clarity that weren't there all day. Under the moon, your senses sharpen, your intuition gets louder, and your courage becomes undeniable. Some will call this strange or even inconvenient, but it's a sign of the transformation. The full moon is preparing you to step into a life where your timing, your energy, and your presence no longer match the ordinary flow. You're becoming someone who burns brighter when others dim, someone whose truest power rises with the moon. And the longer you stay in this energy, the more you'll realize that this isn't just a phase, It's a preview of who you're meant to be after the moon has passed. The closer we move to the full moon, the more obvious the divide becomes, not in society, but in vibration. You'll start to notice it in conversations that no longer flow, in people who suddenly feel distant, and in the heaviness that lingers around certain spaces. What once felt normal now feels draining, and what used to feel comfortable now feels foreign. This isn't judgment, it's recognition. The light of the full moon exposes not just what's around you, but what's no longer aligned with you. Some people will seem off, like they're walking through fog. You'll notice them repeating the same complaints, chasing the same cycles, or just feeling strangely disconnected from what's really happening. It's as if time is speeding up for some and standing still for others. That's the energetic sorting in motion, the universe quietly pulling souls toward the frequencies they've chosen to match. The light doesn't separate people, it reveals where they already stand. You may even catch yourself trying to explain what you feel, only to realize words don't reach them anymore. That's because awareness itself is stretching, widening the gap between those awakening and those still asleep. The moon is amplifying this clarity, and that amplification can feel lonely at first. But loneliness isn't isolation. It's confirmation that you're shifting out of old resonance. You're not supposed to pull anyone with you this time. You're supposed to witness the divergence without attachment. The closer we get to the full moon, the more the universe will test your discernment. Who do you still give energy to? What do you still allow into your space? Pay attention to how people make you feel after you leave their presence. The difference between those who drain you and those who energize you will become impossible to ignore. As the full moon approaches, the battle intensifies, not out in the world, but deep within you. You might feel torn between momentum and resistance, between expansion and the quiet urge to retreat. That's the old identity trying to hold on. Every habit, every fear, every comfortable limitation, it's all scrambling for survival while the new consciousness begins to take command. The old self doesn't die quietly, it bargains, it whispers, it tempts. This isn't about healing or forgiveness. It's not about processing emotions or making peace with the past. It's a takeover. Your higher awareness is beginning to override outdated codes of behavior, and that shift can feel like chaos. One moment, you're ready to move forward. The next, you question everything. That's not confusion, it's calibration. You're learning how to operate from clarity, not comfort. In these days before the full moon, you might notice internal arguments that seem to come out of nowhere. The voice that says, "Stay small," will clash with the one that says, "Step up." The version of you that fears being seen will try to negotiate with the one that's ready to be seen by all. It's not mental instability, it's the sound of evolution. The friction you feel is proof that the new self is gaining ground. The moon's growing light doesn't just reveal the truth, it burns away what can't withstand it. You'll feel moments of surrender, followed by waves of defiance, like two timelines fighting to claim you. That's because, on an energetic level, they are. The full moon acts as the final stage of initiation. Once its light peaks, the old self will have no place left to hide. The moment you stop negotiating with your old self, your future begins. That's what this phase is all about, choosing dominance of purpose over comfort, truth over illusion. By the time the moon reaches its fullest light, the war inside won't be a war anymore. There will only be one version of you left, the one who made it through the noise and chose to rise. You've made it through storms that should have broken you. There were moments you thought the universe had forgotten your name, but it hadn't. It was shaping you. Every setback, delay, and heartbreak wasn't punishment. It was precision. The universe never tests your strength. It reveals it. Those nights where your faith ran thin weren't failures. They were training. You were being refined in silence, molded through chaos, strengthened in the dark. Every betrayal sharpened your intuition. Every loss created space for something greater. What felt like endings were actually alignments in disguise. Now, as the full moon approaches, the fear that once ruled you is fading into calm. You don't feel desperate for change, you feel ready for it. The same pain that once weakened you has become proof that you were built for more. The universe didn't isolate you to punish you. It isolated you so you could hear your own power. Everything you've survived has been leading here. The pressure, the confusion, the waiting, all of it forged the strength you're standing in now. Diamonds don't shine because they want to. They shine because they were forced to endure the fire. As this full moon rises, the weight lifts. You've passed every hidden test. The chaos wasn't meant to break you, it was meant to prepare you. The dots are connecting, and what you thought was lost is returning in higher form. You're not starting over, you're starting transformed. The universe is finally ready to show you why you had to endure it all. Lately, you might notice the world feels louder than ever. Conversations feel heavy, noise feels draining, and even simple interactions seem overwhelming. This isn't you losing interest in people, it's your spirit craving what the noise can't give you: silence, space, stillness. When the soul begins to transform, noise becomes poison. This pull towards solitude isn't avoidance, it's protection. Your body senses a massive shift coming and is instinctively pulling you away from chaos to stabilize your energy. As the full moon approaches, every frequency that doesn't match yours feels distorted, making distractions unbearable. You'll find yourself turning down invitations or ignoring messages without realizing why. That's your system, creating a buffer before the surge. What feels like withdrawal is actually your energy returning home. The silence doesn't feel empty, it feels alive, feeding you strength that the outside world drains away. When you stop sharing your energy with everyone, your power stops leaking. This is your nervous system recalibrating, clearing space for what the universe is sending. At first, the quiet might feel strange, but this is where the next version of you begins to form. You're not retreating from the world, you're returning to yourself. The solitude you crave isn't loneliness, it's initiation. Creation doesn't happen in chaos, it happens in stillness. And when the full moon arrives, that stillness will break, not with noise, but with awakening, revealing a world transformed by the new energy you've become. Right before transformation, there's a peace that doesn't come from everything working out. It comes from realizing you don't need to control it anymore. The chosen ones are entering that phase now, where forcing life no longer feels powerful. The moment you stop forcing life, it starts flowing toward you. You're noticing how your reactions have changed. When plans fall apart, you don't panic, you trust. You're no longer bending reality to your will, you're aligning with it. This isn't giving up, it's mastery. Control is an illusion built by fear. Flow is a truth born from trust. This full moon is showing you how much of your strength was wasted on trying to steer what was never yours to command. The moment you step back, life starts moving again. People drift away, paths change, yet everything lands exactly where it should. You're sensing a new rhythm, one that doesn't need micromanaging. The future no longer feels like something to chase, but something already waiting for you. Peace isn't found when life gets easier, it's found when you stop trying to make it go your way. So if things feel uncertain right now, take that as proof you're aligned. The full moon isn't testing your control, it's rewarding your surrender. Because when you finally let go, the universe takes over. Something rare is happening to the chosen ones right now, something that can't be measured or explained, only felt. It's not just a frequency raise, it's a shift so powerful it pushes you out of everything familiar. You're crossing an invisible threshold most people never realize exists. The point where intuition becomes louder than logic, and the universe starts moving through you instead of around you. Once you stop chasing alignment, alignment starts chasing you. This isn't about vibration as a concept, it's about resonance as an experience. Reality begins to respond instantly to your energy rather than your effort. Timing shifts, coincidences multiply, and you start predicting outcomes before they happen. You're not thinking your way through life anymore, you're feeling your way through it. It can feel disorienting at first. The logical mind wants to cling to old patterns, but they no longer work. You're learning to function in an energy that only responds to coherence. Reality stops resisting the moment you start resonating. People, opportunities, and even random situations start moving differently around you because your alignment is now stronger than your control. The veil between thought and manifestation becomes razor thin. You'll think of someone and they'll appear. Set an intention, and within hours, it unfolds. This isn't magic, it's magnetism. At this level, your energy carries more authority than your words, chaos loses its grip on you, and logic finally rests while intuition leads. Life no longer asks you to plan every step, it flows through you. You act without overthinking, guided by something both foreign and familiar. Most people never reach this line because it demands surrender, letting go of the mind's need to predict and define. But you've been trained to feel rather than think, to sense rather than strategize, which is why you're crossing it now. And once you do, there's no going back. Patterns reveal themselves before others notice them. You sense people's energy before they speak. Crossing this line doesn't make you special, it makes you responsible. Your choices ripple faster, your words shape outcomes quicker, and your thoughts become commands. As the full moon approaches, this shift intensifies. The light isn't just illuminating you, it's recalibrating you. You're no longer a participant in life's flow, you are the flow. If time feels strange and intuition almost eerie, it's because you've crossed a sacred boundary. This is the point of no return, and it's exactly where you were always meant to arrive. There's a shift happening within you that most people spend their whole lives avoiding. The shift from resisting discomfort to feeding off of it. The chosen ones are entering a stage where pain, uncertainty, and pressure no longer feel like punishment. They've become the spark. Discomfort is no longer your enemy, it's your fuel. Think about how you used to handle chaos. Every setback used to feel like a warning sign, a reason to pause, to protect yourself, to retreat until it was safe again. But now, something deeper is taking over. You're noticing that when things get hard, you don't collapse anymore. You rise, you move faster, you adapt quicker. It's as if the fire that once burned you now powers you. This isn't because life got easier, it's because you've become someone who's learned to find clarity in the middle of the storm. That's the mark of this phase. Your nervous system isn't rejecting intensity anymore, it's learning to translate it. The energy that once overwhelmed you is now something your body knows how to use. You're not afraid of pressure, because pressure is what activates your brilliance. It's what reveals the strength you didn't know you had. Growth doesn't come from calm waters, it comes from learning to breathe underwater. What's happening now is a complete inversion of your old programming. You're no longer seeking comfort, you're seeking truth. And truth, by its very nature, will always challenge you. You're starting to realize that everything meaningful you've ever gained came through moments that terrified you. The job that changed your life came after rejection. The breakthrough that woke you up came after breakdown. The love that healed you came after heartbreak. Every gift was wrapped in discomfort, and only now are you seeing the pattern clearly. You begin to see that the purpose of challenge isn't to test your limits, but to reveal how limitless you've become. Discomfort doesn't chase you when you start walking toward it. That's the power you're stepping into now. As the full moon approaches, you'll feel this even more strongly. Every emotional trigger, every unexpected obstacle will feel like a familiar language, one you finally understand. Instead of shrinking from change, you'll start moving toward it because you've learned that evolution doesn't wait for permission. It happens in motion, in friction, in courage. And the more you embrace that friction, the more magnetic you become. People will notice the calm that follows you even when everything around you is chaos. They'll sense that you're no longer running from life, you're mastering it. This is the stage where the universe starts trusting you with bigger challenges because it knows you're not scared anymore. You've proven that you can handle pressure without losing your peace. You've proven that you can find stillness in fire. That's why this next phase will feel different. Life won't slow down to comfort you, it will accelerate to meet your readiness. The energy that once made you anxious will now excite you. The unknown will stop being intimidating and start feeling like home. You're evolving into someone who sees the test, smiles, and says, "Good. Let's see what I can do now." Because the chosen ones don't crumble under pressure anymore, they become pressure. They become the storm that no longer seeks shelter, because they finally understand that they were never meant to survive the fire. They were meant to become it. As the super full moon rises, its light doesn't just illuminate the sky, it illuminates what's been hidden inside you. The chosen ones begin to shift into a state where darkness no longer feels threatening. They stop fearing the unknown, the hidden, the things that used to keep them awake at night. Instead, they begin to move comfortably in uncertainty, no longer haunted by what they can't see, because the lunar light makes it visible. Fear fades the moment you stop running from the dark and start walking through it. This isn't about becoming reckless or indifferent, it's about a profound new calm in the face of what others still avoid. Where most people see mystery, you see opportunity. Where most sense danger, you sense information. You realize that shadows don't exist to frighten you. They exist to reveal depth. The same energy that once made you shrink back now empowers you to lean in. Under this moon's energy, what was hidden begins to surface, not to harm you, but to show you your own power. You may notice yourself having conversations you once avoided, stepping into spaces you used to fear, or exploring sides of yourself you once denied. This is your consciousness expanding, no longer bound by the fear of what might be lurking in the dark. When the light of awareness meets the dark of uncertainty, the shadow becomes your teacher. This transformation is subtle but unmistakable. The full moon amplifies clarity, not just externally, but internally. You're beginning to see the patterns behind the shadows, the truths behind the fears, and the lessons behind the obstacles. Instead of feeling unsettled by what's unclear, you begin to feel curious, even excited, because you trust that everything hidden will eventually be revealed to you at the right time. And as this happens, something powerful takes root inside you, unshakable composure. The darkness stops feeling like a void and starts feeling like a canvas. The unknown becomes a place where you grow, not a place where you hide. You're no longer flinching at what you don't understand because you've realized that the unknown is where life expands. As the moon peaks, this courage solidifies. You stop being the person who avoids the shadows and become the person who walks through them. You see clearly now that shadows don't diminish the light, they define it. True power isn't found in avoiding the dark, it's found in bringing your light there. This is the gift of this phase, the ability to move into uncertainty without fear, to face the hidden without losing yourself, and to discover that what once scared you was never bigger than you. It was only waiting for you to shine. As the full moon approaches and its light swells, something subtle yet undeniable begins to happen to the chosen ones. The veil between energetic planes thins, not just in some mystical, poetic sense, but in a way that affects how you are perceived in the physical world. Your frequency, which until now has been quietly reshaping itself beneath the surface, starts to broadcast louder. It's not about being famous or standing out on a stage. This is a deeper, almost eerie visibility. Your energy signature becomes impossible to ignore. When your frequency becomes clear, the world can't look past you anymore. You'll begin to notice small, strange things first. People turning their heads just before you walk into a room. Strangers making prolonged eye contact, even when you haven't said a word. Someone at a store might feel compelled to speak to you for no reason, while someone else might seem unsettled by your presence without understanding why. For some, this will feel empowering. For others, it will feel overwhelming, because being spiritually visible means more than just being noticed. It means people's subconscious minds start picking up on things they can't explain. They feel your calmness, your strength, your quiet authority, and it stirs something in them. Admiration for some, resistance for others. Your energy will either awaken them or expose them. This is why some will be drawn closer while others will instinctively pull away. It's not personal, it's energetic truth playing out in real time. In the days leading up to the full moon, this effect intensifies. This visibility isn't about ego, it's not about being special or superior. It's about the natural consequence of becoming energetically coherent. When your inner world stabilizes and your vibration stops wavering, you automatically stand out in a reality built on distraction. But here's the truth. This visibility isn't a burden. It's proof that your inner work is radiating outward. The full moon doesn't just shine on the ocean, it pulls the tides. In the same way, your frequency isn't just seen under this light, it pulls people, events, and outcomes into your orbit. The moment you become visible, life starts moving around you differently. This is not a stage of hiding anymore. It's a stage of embodiment. And as the full moon peaks, you'll feel the shift lock in. You won't need to announce who you've become. Your presence will do it for you. People will start reacting to a version of you you've only just begun to meet yourself. That's the power of spiritual visibility. It's not a spotlight shining on you. It's your energy becoming the light itself. If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content, and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more insightful content.